At gun shows across the country, experienced collectors are hunting for the same 20 rifles. They're not buying the newest models or the fanciest guns. They're targeting specific legendary rifles that most people walk right past. These collectors know something. Prices are about to explode, and they're buying everything they can find before word gets out. Number 1. M1 Garand, starting strong with the M1 Garand. This is the rifle that won World War II, and it's already considered one of the most collectible American military firearms ever made. Right now, you can still get a civilian marksmanship program Garand for around $650 to $1,200, depending on grade and condition. Here's why values are about to jump. The CMP is running low on inventory. They've been selling these rifles for decades, refurbishing them from military stocks, but that well is running dry. Once the CMP supply is exhausted, the only place to find M1 Garands will be the private market, and prices will reflect that scarcity immediately. Original Springfield Armory and Winchester M1 Garands in excellent condition are already fetching $2,000 to $3,500. As CMP inventory disappears, expect those prices to hit $4,000 to $5,000 within the next 2 years. Special variants like the early gas trap models or original sniper configurations are going to be 5-figure rifles sooner than people think. The combination of historical significance, limited supply, and strong collector demand makes the M1 Garand a safe bet for value appreciation. Number 2. Winchester Model 70 Pre-64. The Winchester Model 70, manufactured before 1964, is considered by many to be the finest bolt-action rifle ever made in America. Winchester changed the design in 1964 to cut costs, and collectors have been obsessed with pre-64 models ever since. Standard pre-64 Model 70s in common calibers like .30-06 or .270. Winchester are currently trading in the $1,200 to $2,500 range, depending on condition. But watch what happens with the rare calibers and configurations. A pre-64 Model 70 in .358 Winchester or .264 Winchester Magnum can already command $3,000 to $5,000. Values are climbing because the supply is fixed. Winchester isn't making any more pre-64 rifles, and demand keeps growing as younger collectors enter the market. The craftsmanship and features of these rifles simply can't be replicated at any price point today. Expect common calibers to push toward $3,000 to $4,000, while rare variants could hit $8,000 to $10,000 in the next few years. Supergrade and African models in premium calibers are already investment-grade pieces that will only appreciate. Number 3. Colt AR-15 SP1. The original Colt AR-15 SP1 from the 1960s and 1970s represents the birth of the civilian AR-15 market. These rifles have the classic A1 upper receiver, triangular handguards, and the 3-prong flash hider that was later banned. Original SP1 rifles in good condition are currently selling for $1,800 to $2,800. That might seem expensive compared to a modern AR-15, but these are historically significant firearms. The SP1 was the first semi-automatic AR-15 sold to civilians, and it bridges military and civilian firearms history in America. Collector interest in early AR-15 variants is exploding. Original Colt configuration rifles are becoming harder to find, as people either shoot them or convert them to more modern configurations. Numbers matching SP1 rifles with original parts are going to see significant appreciation. We're looking at $3,500 to $5,000 for nice examples within 2 years. Special configurations like the early Colt Sporter models with the original box and paperwork could go even higher. The AR-15 platform dominates modern shooting, and collectors want the original version. Number 4. Finnish Mosin Nagant M39. While Russian Mosin Nagants are still cheap and plentiful, The Finnish versions are a different story entirely. The Finnish M39, produced from 1940 to 1944, represents the peak of Mosin Nagant development. The Finns took the Russian design and perfected it with better barrels, improved sights, and superior craftsmanship. Finnish M39 rifles are currently trading between $600 and $1,200 depending on condition and markings. That's already up from $400 just 5 years ago. Here's why they're going higher. The supply is completely fixed. These rifles were made during wartime in limited quantities. Meanwhile, collector awareness is growing as people realize these aren't just another Mosin Nagant. The Finnish Winter War and Continuation War history adds serious collector appeal. These rifles were used by some of the most effective infantry in World War II history. As that story gets told more widely, demand increases. Expect nice M39 rifles to hit $1,500 to $2,000 soon. Exceptional examples with rare maker marks or in unissued condition could reach $2,500 to $3,000. The gap between standard Russian Mosins and Finnish variants will continue to widen as collectors differentiate quality. Number 5. Winchester Model 94 pre-1994. Just like the Model 70, Winchester's Model 94 lever action changed after 1964, and pre-64 examples are significantly more desirable. The Model 94 is the iconic American deer rifle, with over 7 million produced. But those early examples had superior fit, finish, and metallurgy. Pre-64 Model 94s and 3030 Winchester are currently available from $800 to $1,800 depending on condition. Special editions, octagon barrel versions, and takedown models command premiums. These rifles represent American hunting tradition and nostalgia in a way few firearms can match. The value proposition here is cultural significance. The lever-action rifle symbolizes the American frontier, and the Model 94 is the most recognized example. As modern hunters age and start collecting the rifles they remember from their youth, demand for quality pre-64 examples increases. We're looking at standard rifles pushing $1,500 to $2,500. with special variants reaching $3,000 to $5,000. Engraved or presentation grade pre-64, Model 94s are already serious collector items that will continue appreciating steadily. Number 6. Swiss K31 Straight Pull. The Swiss K31 is one of the best-kept secrets in military surplus collecting. These straight-pull bolt-action rifles are renowned for accuracy, build quality, and innovative design. Switzerland's neutrality meant these rifles were never used in combat, so most examples are in excellent condition. Current market prices run $500 to $900 for standard K31 rifles. That's incredibly cheap for the quality you're getting. Swiss engineering and precision machining make these rifles mechanically superior to most military surplus. The 7.5 by 55 mm Swiss cartridge is ballistically excellent, though somewhat expensive. Values are rising because the import supply has dried up. The Swiss sold off most of their surplus inventory years ago, and what's in America now is basically it. As collectors discover how accurate and well-made these rifles are, demand is increasing while supply remains fixed. Expect K31 prices to reach $1,000 to $1,500 within 3 years. Sniper variants with original scopes are already $2,000 plus and climbing. The combination of quality, accuracy, and limited availability makes the K31 a smart investment. Number 7. Remington 700 BDL. Early production. The Remington 700 is America's most popular bolt-action rifle, but early BDL models from the 1960s and 1970s have special collector appeal. These rifles featured higher quality wood, better metal finishing, and attention to detail that later production sometimes lacked. Early Remington 700 BDL rifles in desirable calibers like 7mm Remington Magnum or 300 Winchester Magnum are currently selling for $800 to $1,400. That's already a premium over newer 700s, but the gap is widening. Collectors appreciate the American black walnut stocks, crisp checkering, and overall craftsmanship. These rifles are climbing in value because they represent the golden age of American sporting rifles. Modern production rifles often use cheaper materials and faster manufacturing processes. Early 700 BDLS were built when Remington was at the peak of their game. Expect premium examples to reach $1,500 to $2,500 as collectors seek quality vintage American rifles. Left-handed models and rare calibers will command even higher prices. Number 8. Springfield M1A. The Springfield M1A is the civilian version of the M14 rifle, maintaining the traditional military configuration. While M1As are still in production, earlier examples from the 1970s and 1980s have significant collector value, especially original USGI parts guns. Early Springfield M1A rifles, particularly those assembled from USGI parts, are trading between $1,800 and $3,000. Standard production and national match variants in excellent condition command premiums. The M1A represents the last American battle rifle before the military switched to the M16 platform. Values are increasing because the supply of USGI M14 parts has been exhausted. Early Springfield M1As were built with genuine military components, giving them historical authenticity that newer production can't match. As these rifles age, collectors are recognizing their significance as the bridge between M1 Garand and modern military rifles. Expect quality early M1 as to reach $3,000 to $4,500. USGI parts guns with documentation and original configurations will be the most desirable. Number 9. Savage Model 99. The Savage Model 99 lever action is one of the most innovative sporting rifles ever designed. Unlike traditional tube magazine lever guns, the Model 99 used a rotary magazine, allowing it to safely chamber-pointed bullets. This gave it ballistic advantages and made it popular with serious hunters. Early 20th century Savage Model 99 rifles in desirable calibers like 250 to 3000 Savage or 300 Savage are currently priced from $800 to $1,800. Takedown models and rifles with fancy wood command premiums. The Model 99 has a dedicated following among lever-action enthusiasts who appreciate its unique engineering. These rifles are appreciating because they represent American innovation in firearms design. The rotary magazine concept was ahead of its time, and the rifle's accuracy made it a favorite for deer hunting across multiple generations. As fewer people remember shooting these rifles new, nostalgia drives collector interest. Expect nice Model 99 rifles to reach $1,500 to $2,500. Early production models in rare calibers or with factory upgrades could hit $3,000 to $4,000. The combination of mechanical interest and hunting heritage makes these rifles increasingly collectible. Number 10. German Mauser K98K. The German Mauser K98K is the most recognized bolt-action military rifle in history. These rifles saw service throughout World War II and represent the pinnacle of Mauser design. Various manufacturers produced the K98K, with some being more desirable than others to collectors. Standard K98K rifles in good condition are currently selling for $900 to $1,800, depending on manufacturer and markings. Russian capture rifles marked with Soviet proof marks are on the lower end, while original German configuration rifles with matching numbers command top prices. Special variants like the Kriegsmodell wartime production or rifles made by rare manufacturers can exceed $2,500. Values are climbing because K98K rifles represent tangible World War II history. Collectors seek specific manufacturers, date codes, and original configurations. The supply is completely fixed. No more will ever be made. and condition continues to matter more as time passes. Expect standard K98K rifles to reach $1,500 to $2,500. All matching examples with original finish and rare maker codes will push $3,000 to $5,000. SS-marked rifles or documented sniper variants are already hitting 5 figures at auction. Number 11. Marlin 336 PRE Safety. Marlin's 336 lever action in 30-30 Winchester is the Model 94's main competitor in the American deer rifle market. Earlier production Marlin 336 rifles, made before the addition of crossbolt safeties and other cost-cutting measures, are significantly more desirable to collectors. Pre-safety Marlin 336 rifles in good condition run $500 to $900 currently. That's already a premium over newer production, reflecting collector preference for the cleaner lines and better build quality of earlier guns. The JM-marked barrels, indicating production before Remington's acquisition, are particularly sought after. These rifles are increasing in value because Marlin's recent production troubles have highlighted the quality of earlier examples. The company changed hands multiple times and quality suffered. Collectors and shooters now recognize that pre-safety, JM-marked 336 rifles represent Marlin at their best. Expect these rifles to reach $800 to $1,500 within a few years. Rare variants like the 3.56 Winchester or 3.75 Winchester chamberings will command even higher prices as collectors seek unusual calibers. Number 12. Ruger No. 1 Early Production. The Ruger No. 1 single-shot falling block rifle debuted in 1967, bringing classic single-shot design into the modern era. Early production Ruger No. 1 rifles, particularly those from the first decade of manufacture, are increasingly collectible. Early Ruger No. 1 rifles in popular calibers are currently trading between $1,200 and $2,200. Special editions, rare calibers, and rifles with premium wood grades command higher prices. The No. 1 appeals to hunters who appreciate traditional design and shooters who value accuracy over capacity. Values are rising because early Ruger No. 1 rifles featured better quality wood and more careful metal finishing than later production. As Ruger focused on cost reduction over the decades, the early guns stand out for craftsmanship. Additionally, certain calibers were discontinued, making those rifles more desirable. Expect premium early No. 1 rifles to reach $2,000 to $3,500. Rare calibers like the .257 Roberts or discontinued chamberings will command significant premiums as collectors complete caliber collections. Number 13. Chinese SKS Type 56. The Chinese Type 56 SKS has long been considered a cheap military surplus rifle, but that's changing rapidly. These semi-automatic carbines, chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeters, were imported in huge quantities in the 1990s, selling for under $100 each. Those days are long gone. Current market prices for Chinese SKS rifles run $400 to $700, depending on condition and configuration. Rifles with original blade bayonets, spike bayonets, and matching numbers command premiums. The SKS represents Cold War history and the spread of Soviet military technology to allies worldwide. These rifles are appreciating because the supply has been cut off permanently. Chinese military surplus is no longer being imported, and the rifles in America now are all that will ever be here. As younger shooters discover these reliable, simple semi-automatic rifles, demand increases while supply remains fixed. The California import ban and various state restrictions are also reducing the available supply in certain markets. Expect Chinese SKS values to reach $700 to $1,000 within 3 years. Rare variants like the Type 63 or rifles with factory stamps and original accessories will climb even higher. Number 14. Winchester Model 1876 Winchester Model 1876, one of 1,000, represents the absolute pinnacle of collectible lever-action rifles. These were Winchester's attempt to create an ultra-accurate specialty rifle, and only 54 Model 1876 one of 1,000 rifles were ever produced. That extreme rarity makes them among the most valuable lever guns in existence. In September 2018, Rock Island Auction sold an ultra-rare, documented Winchester 1 of 1,000 model 1876 for $891,250. In December 2025, another exceptional example with complete documentation sold for $235,000. The Model 1876 was Winchester's centennial model, introduced to celebrate America's 100th birthday. It was chambered for more powerful cartridges than the Model 1873. Number 15. Colt LE6920, law enforcement marked. The Colt LE6920 with law enforcement markings. The LE6920 is Colt's law enforcement carbine. It's been issued to police departments and federal agencies nationwide. The LE marking on the lower receiver makes these rifles especially desirable. This rifle uses a 16-inch barrel with M4 feed ramps, chrome-lined barrel and chamber. The carbine-length gas system provides reliable function with a wide range of ammunition. LE-marked Colts hold special appeal to collectors. These were built to government specifications. They represent real-duty weapons used by professionals. Used 6,920 rifles sell for $1,000 to $1,400, depending on condition and included accessories. LE-marked examples bring $100 to $300 more than standard commercial versions. One listing shows a LE-marked Colt with heavy barrel and factory Magpul furniture. These configurations are hard to find. They command premium prices. The California Highway Patrol used special LE-marked Colt dissipator-style rifles in the 1990s. These rare variants sell for significantly more than standard models. Why are LE Colts rising? Colt stopped making many of their law enforcement models. The company shifted focus. Original LE-marked rifles from the 2000s and 2010s are becoming collectible. Authenticity matters. Fake LE markings exist. Buyers should verify serial numbers and purchase from reputable sources.